In a small village, nestled among lush green fields, fragrant flowers, and babbling brooks, lived two siblings, Emma and Max. Emma was 10 years old, cheerful and curious, while Max, at 14, was brave and adventurous. Their village was a joyful place, filled with birdsong, children's laughter, and the warm chatter of neighbors. But just beyond the village lay the Enchanted Forest, a place steeped in countless tales. Its trees glowed at night. Colorful lights danced among the branches, and the breeze seemed to whisper sweet melodies. No one dared venture into the forest, but everyone knew it held magical secrets. One evening, Emma and Max sat by the fire in their grandfather's cottage. He pulled out an old, tattered map from a dusty chest. The map, drawn in elegant handwriting, bore the words "Light Jewel." With twinkling eyes, their grandfather said, "This jewel lies hidden deep in the forest. It brings happiness to those who find it and makes the village even more beautiful." Emma's eyes widened with wonder, while Max studied the map closely. "Grandpa, what would happen if we found this jewel?" Emma asked. He smiled. "The flowers would bloom brighter, the birds would sing sweeter, and every heart would brim with joy." That night, as they lay in bed, Emma and Max shared the same dream: to venture into the Enchanted Forest and find the Light Jewel. The next morning, they made up their minds, packing apples, cookies, water, and their grandfather's map into their backpacks. They set off. At the edge of the village path, they paused, looked at each other, and stepped boldly into the forest. As Emma planting apples, cookies, water, and the map into their backpacks, they set off. At the village's edge, they paused, glanced at each other, and stepped boldly into the forest. Emma and Max entered the forest and found themselves in another world. Towering trees stretched toward the sky, and tiny, colorful lights twinkled. Among the branches, red, blue, yellow, and green lights danced like the forest's own stars. Emma exclaimed, "These lights are so beautiful." She reached out to touch one, but they fluttered away like butterflies. Max, holding the map, said, "I think these lights are clues to the jewel." The map mentioned something like this. The path wound deeper into the forest, surrounded by singing birds and gently swaying flowers. Suddenly, a fluffy tail peeked out from the bushes. A fox with golden fur stepped forward and spoke. "Hello, little adventurers. I'm Nutmeg, forest's guide. Where are you headed?" Emma gasped. "A talking fox." Nutmeg chuckled. "Of course I talk. Anything's possible in the Enchanted Forest. I can help you, but on one condition: no secrets from me." Max showed her the map and said, "We're looking for the Light Jewel. Will you help us?" Nutmeg wagged her tail. "Absolutely. But be ready, the forest is full of surprises." The siblings decided to trust the cheerful fox and followed her down the path. As they walked, Nutmeg told them how each flower in the forest had a unique scent and some trees sang songs. Emma and Max were enchanted by every corner of this magical world. Nutmeg led the siblings deeper into the forest, where the tree branches began to sway gently. The breeze whispered like a lullaby. Emma listened closely and heard the trees speaking. "Two curious hearts will find the jewel and make the forest shine brighter," Max said excitedly. "That must be us," Emma asked. "But where's the jewel?" Nutmeg wagged her tail. "Be patient, the forest will show you the way." Suddenly, a massive tree appeared in the middle of the path. Its trunk was covered in golden bark, and its branches stretched like a crown toward the sky. The tree spoke in a deep voice. "To pass me, you must solve my riddle, young travelers." Emma and Max exchanged glances. The riddle was, "What is always by your side but you can never touch?" Max pondered, but Emma jumped in. Your reflection. You see it in a mirror, but you can't touch it. The tree shook its branches with a laugh. Correct, clever girl. Your path is clear. The tree stepped aside, revealing the path again. Nutmeg said, "Well done, but more riddles may await." The siblings left and continued, captivated by the forest's magic. The path led to a crystal-clear river, sparkling in the sunlight, with colorful stones floating on its surface. Red, blue, green, and yellow stones seemed to dance in the water. Nutmeg said, "You'll cross by stepping on these stones, but beware. Some are fake and will make you fall." Max examined the stones closely. "Look, Emma, some stones look duller than the others. Those must be the fake ones." Emma stepped carefully from stone to stone, each one chimming a soft melody that made her giggle. Max followed, but his attention wandered, and he stepped on a dull stone. It vanished, and he splashed into the water. Luckily, the water was shallow, only up to his knees. Emma burst out laughing and pulled him out. "You soggy adventurer," she teased. Max grinned, shaking off the water. "All right, I'll be more careful next time." On the other side, they saw a cave entrance framed with flowers, as if inviting them in. Nutmeg wagged her tail. "Come on, the next part of your adventure is in there, inside the cave." A cool breeze and soft light greeted them. The walls were covered in starlight crystals, each glowing a different color, lighting the cave like a rainbow. Nutmeg said, "These crystals point the way to the light jewel. Look closely." Emma noticed symbols on the walls, forming a map that led deeper into the forest. Max said, "These symbols might show where the jewel is, deep in the cave." They heard a gentle hum. A glowing orb floated before them, speaking softly. "Welcome, young travelers, to pass. You must offer a gift." Emma rummaged through her backpack and pulled out her mother's fragrant cinnamon cookies. "Will these do?" she asked. The orb brightened at the scent. "What a lovely gift. You may pass." It moved aside, revealing a path to the cave's exit. Max joked, "Cookies open every door." Emma giggled, and they continued on. Leaving the cave, the forest seemed even more beautiful. Rainbow-colored flowers glowed around them, swaying gently and releasing sweet scents. Nutmeg said, "These flowers carry the light jewel's energy. Treat them kindly." Emma approached a flower, and it seemed to wink at her. When she touched it gently, it gave her a tiny, glowing seed. The flower whispered, "Keep this, little traveler. You'll need it later." Max looked round. This forest gets more amazing with every step. A path appeared among the flowers, and Nutmeg said, "This path will take you closer to the jewel." As they walked, the flowers sang soft melodies, as if the forest were serenading them. Emma said, "I wish this moment could last forever." Max grinned. "We haven't even found the jewel yet. There's more to come." The path led them to a hill. At the hill's summit, the sky opened, revealing millions of stars. They seemed to line the path, twinkling like they'd fallen to earth. Nutmeg said, "This is the starlit path. It leads to the jewel." The path wound along the hill's edge, offering a stunning view of the forest's lights and shimmering rivers. Emma marveled at the sight, but felt a bit nervous about the height. Max took her hand. "We can do anything together. Don't worry." They moved slowly, guided by the starlight. At the path's end, a golden door appeared, gleaming as if guarding a treasure. Emma asked, "What's behind this door?" Nutmeg wagged her tail. "Go find out." The siblings approached, hearts pounding with excitement. The golden door shimmered, with delicate writing that read, "Share the joy in your heart." Emma pulled a small flute from her backpack, a gift from her mother. "Will playing this share my joy?" she asked. Nutmeg nodded. "Worth a try." Emma played a cheerful tune, and Max clapped along, singing a song. The door, hearing their joy, slowly opened. Inside, a glowing light floated in the center of a pond. It looked like the jewel, but they needed to cross the water to reach it. Nutmeg said, "You'll need a raft." The siblings gathered branches, leaves, and sturdy vines, working together to build a small but strong raft. Emma said, "This raft will take us to the light." Emma and Max launched the raft into the pond. The water sparkled like the night sky, each ripple scattering tiny lights. Emma said, "It's like we're sailing on stars." Max, rowing, replied, "This might be the best part of our adventure." The raft neared the light, which was a piece of crystal, but not the light jewel itself. Max said, "This must be a clue. The real jewel is somewhere else." The crystal glowed, pointing deeper into the forest. Nutmeg said, "This piece brings you closer to the jewel." They carefully tucked it into their backpack and continued. A new path appeared by the pond, leading to the forest's most vibrant area. Emma said, "Every step brings a new surprise." Deep in the forest, they reached a clearing where tiny fairies danced, their colorful wings fluttering as they laughed. Seeing Emma and Max, they clapped. The fairy leader, Sparkle, said, "Welcome, jewel seekers, to reach the jewel. You must dance with us." Emma jumped in, twirling with the fairies. Max, a bit shy, joined after Emma's infectious enthusiasm dot as they danced. A small, glowing key rose from the ground. Sparkle said, "This key opens the chest hiding the jewel." But the chest is still far off. The siblings thanked Sparkle, took the key, and waved goodbye as the fairies cheered. Nutmeg said, "Great dancing. Now let's find the chest," with the key in hand. They entered a tunnel lined with colorful stones that played melodies when touched. Emma tapped them in sequence, creating a song. Max said, "This tunnel's like a music box." At the end, a golden chest appeared. Max inserted the key, but the chest wouldn't open. Nutmeg suggested, "Maybe it needs a password." Emma recalled the map, which had a small word in the corner. Together, she shouted, "Together." The chest clicked and opened, revealing another map. This one showed the jewel's exact location, the top of the sky tree. Max asked, "How do we get to that tree?" Nutmeg grinned. "Don't worry. The forest will help as they ought." A talking squirrel appeared. "Hi, I'm Hazel. Heading to the sky tree." Emma nodded. "Yes, to find the jewel." Hazel said, "That tree's tall. You'll need to be light to climb it." She gave them to magical feathers that glowed faintly. "Hold these, they'll carry you up." The siblings thanked Hazel, marveling at the feathers. The path led to the sky tree, so tall its branches touched the clouds. Emma said, "This tree's like a giant." Max clutched the feathers. "Let's climb." Nutmeg called from below, "Be careful and trust each other." The sky tree's branches stretched like a ladder to the heavens. Holding the magical feathers, Emma and Max climbed, the feathers making them feel lighter. Among the branches, tiny birds sang. One chirped, "There's a surprise up there." Emma asked, "What surprise?" But the bird only smiled and flew off at the tree's top. They found a platform with a glowing light that resembled the jewel but was only a reflection. Max asked, "Where's the real jewel?" Nutmeg, who had climbed up, said, "This is a mirror. It'll show you where the jewel is." Emma peered into the mirror and saw a waterfall with a glowing light in a cave behind it. "The jewel must be there," she said. Max nodded. "Let's go to the waterfall. With the feathers' help, They descended and headed toward the waterfall, its rainbow hues shimmering and its sound like a song. Emma said, "This waterfall is gorgeous. Behind it." They saw a cave entrance. Nutmeg gasped, ready for the final step. Inside the cave, the walls were covered with thousands of crystals, each glowing a different color, making the cave a jewel box. Nutmeg said, "To find the true jewel, listen to your hearts." Emma and Max closed their eyes, thinking of their village, their grandfather, and the adventure's wonders. Suddenly, a central crystal began to glow. Emma touched it, feeling a warm, friendly energy. This was the light jewel. Max shouted, "We did it!" As they held the jewel, the cave glowed brighter. The forest seemed to awaken. Flowers bloomed, and birds sang sweeter. Nutmeg said, "Take the jewel to your village. It'll make it a happier place." They carefully placed it in their backpack and headed home. Along the way, the forest's creatures, flowers, fairies, birds, and trees waved in thanks. Emma said, "This forest feels like our friend." Max laughed and were its heroes back in the village. Everyone marveled at the jewel's beauty. Their grandfather, eyes misty, said, "You brave, joyful hearts did it." They placed the jewel in the village square, where it cast a soft light, making the village warmer and happier. Flowers bloomed brighter, and children played more joyfully. Emma said, "This adventure is my favorite memory." Max grinned. And it's not over. Who knows what's next? One morning, Nutmeg returned to the village. "There's another secret in the forest," she said. The jewel's light had opened a new path. Emma and Max grabbed their backpacks. The path led to a rainbow bridge, its colors dancing in the sky. Emma asked, "Where does this bridge go?" Nutmeg wagged her tail. "Go find out. The forest is full of surprises." The siblings stepped onto the bridge, hearts racing with the thrill of a new adventure. The rainbow bridge stretched through the clouds, each step glowing a different color. Emma said, "It's like walking in the sky." Max, gazing at the view, said, "This forest always surprises us." At the bridge's end, they found a cloud island with a talking cloud. The cloud said gently, "You found the jewel, but the forest has more secrets." It gave them a tiny dream seed and said, "Plant this in the forest and see what happens." Emma and Max planted the dream seed in the forest's heart. Overnight, it grew into a vast garden, each flower representing a wish glowing in red, blue, yellow, and purple. They invited the whole village to the garden, where everyone touched a flower and made a wish. The village became not just beautiful, but a place that held everyone's dreams. Emma and Max hugged each other, saying, "This adventure will last forever." Nutmeg, wagging her tail beside them, added, "And I'll always be with you."